everyone, this week on A&N News Kids, I'm going to be talking about the Afghanistan earthquake, the US gun law, the deepest shipwreck found, and the floating city. The country of the week is Liberia, and Stant is the first to guess it. Congratulations! The extra fun segment is all about four-leaf clovers, and in the Mandarin segment, you will be learning about the Chinese zodiac signs. In the Pre-Your Career, we are interviewing Dr. Jayen Patel, who is an anesthesiologist with an amazing career and journey. I really hope you enjoy, and don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment below. Thank you. There was an extremely powerful earthquake in Afghanistan that killed 1,000 people and injured 1,500. This earthquake was one of the worst and the worst in the past 2 decades in Afghanistan. Earthquakes cause a lot of problems in Afghanistan because the rural areas are poorly developed and poorly built. So, in the past decade, 7,000 people have died in Afghanistan from earthquakes. The average people that die per earthquake in a year are 560. This earthquake had a magnitude of 6.1 and it was 51 kilometers deep, which is really deep. Many medical workers also lost their lives, and that was really bad because Afghanistan did not have many from the beginning. Joe Biden signed the first federal gun safety law in decades. This is the most significant federal legislation of firearms in nearly 30 years. This law is to make sure that there are more and more severe checks on young people who buy guns, as well as to have guns removed from people who are considered a threat. Joe Biden is also pushing for other reforms, like the ban on assault weapons, which were used on the Texas shooting, as well as the Buffalo shooting, which were both mass shootings. And there will be a $15 billion funding for mental health and school security upgrades. Historically, efforts to strengthen U.S. gun laws have been blocked by Republicans, but this year, 14 Republicans joined with the Democrats to win this deal by 234 to 193 votes. On Wednesday, 22nd June, explorers found the world's deepest shipwreck underneath the Pacific Ocean. This was found by Victor Vescovo, who is an explorer who has done many expeditions to deepest points of Earth. He found the shipwreck, which was the Sammy B. And he was also the same person to have found the previous deepest shipwreck, the USS Johnson. The USS Johnson was 6.4 kilometers deep, and this one is 6.8 kilometers deep. In Male, the capital of Maldives, a floating city big enough to house 20,000 people is being constructed. This will have 5,000 units, and its design is similar to that of a brain coral. The first unit is to be unveiled next month, and residents should be able to move in by early 2024. The entire thing should be finished by 2027. This is a joint venture between the Maldivian government and a property developer, Dutch Dockings. This is a solution to the rising sea levels and not just a wild experiment or futuristic vision. Hi everybody! This week for the Pre-Your Career segment, we are interviewing Dr. Jayen Patel, who is an anesthesiologist. He is in Tulsa and he has a great journey. I really hope you enjoy and learn something new.
My name is Dr. Jayen Patel. I'm an anesthesiologist and I specialize in pain management. And for those of you that don't know, anesthesiologists are doctors that are peri-operative physicians. Most often in the world, physicians that handle patients before, during, and after, shortly after surgery, but also man intensive care units. So they're often called intensivists. And often in many countries, they run the emergency rooms and man the emergency rooms because of our technical expertise in airway management, breathing apparatus, and also blood access in terms of arterial and venous access. And so anesthesiologists are often on the boards of hospitals, independent physicians in outpatient surgery centers, and as pain management, because of their ability to place needles in precarious places in the body, anesthesiologists are often pain management specialists for neck, mid back, and low back long-term chronic pain. So that's what I do as a profession. And I grew up in Nairobi, Kenya, until I was 18, and then I went to do an undergraduate study in Boston, and I stayed there for medical school. And then I furthered my specialty training in NYU in New York City, after which I moved to Oklahoma and I started the Oklahoma Pain and Wellness Center. And we became the largest pain management service in the whole state of Oklahoma. And now I'm a part of a system called Seva Medcare. And Seva comes from the Sanskrit word of selfless service. And Seva is now across the state of Texas and Oklahoma.
Wow, that's amazing. And could you explain in a little bit more detail what you do as an anesthesiologist?
Sure. I'm very specialized in terms of low back and neck, as well as headache pain medicine. So I am participant in a clinic and I help manage other people's clinics and I help other doctors start surgery centers. So if you want to make an accredited or build an accredited center, I help you either de novo, or if yours is failing or you have a staffing issue, I help you turn it around so it's safely run and productive. And what I do is in my clinic setting, I help patients who have chronic migraines, which are not managed by medications. I also do interventions that are needle-based and also minimally invasive surgery-based, as well as implant stimulators, which are specialty pacemaker-like devices that can be implanted in your epidural space near the spinal cord to help modulate neck and back pain, particularly after surgery or severe injury. That's the kind of the crux of my practice. I do that a lot in both Oklahoma and Texas. And then as part of my hat wearing as an anesthesiologist, I still have a performing anesthesiologist for surgeries for my partners. And then as well as that, I consult for the surgery centers that I open countrywide. And then we also do back-end insurance claims. So doctors have to file their claims with insurance companies to get paid for the work they do. And we do that out of a worldwide consortium, which is based in Mumbai, Baroda in India, Manila in the Philippines, and somewhere you are in Mauritius.
Wow, that's amazing. And could you tell us, you told us that you went to Boston and then NYU, and then you started your clinics. But could you tell us a bit more about your journey?
Sure. I feel a journey as a clinician starts in your teens. It's your commitment to, you may not be sure you want to do medicine, but it's a commitment to helping people and humanity. So you have to have early empathy. And then you need to enjoy, like, and be good at biological sciences. So when you merge those two things together, things like medicine become very apparent and easy. And for me, that was evident in my teens. I really enjoyed biological sciences. I had a big need to want to give back to humanity in a meaningful way. And you can do that as a veterinarian, you can do that as a fireman. But in medicine, it really allowed you to put those two things together, but also engage you into a lifelong learning experience. You're constantly improving yourself. You're constantly being the best version of yourself. And that's what I enjoyed the career of medicine for, and that's why I joined it. And so I think my path started in my teens. And then the beauty about the American medical system is that you get some time to choose, versus in other parts of the world, you have to do your MBBS, when you're 17, 18 years old, and you start that career then and there in your late teens and in your early 20s. While in America, you get a 4-year bachelor's degree before you start a 4-year medical program. And so I think you're more mature enough to make that decision of saying, I'm on a lifelong journey of a very difficult path. I really got to be sure I want to do this.
Yeah.
And so that's what I was there. And I was lucky to do that journey and take that journey and path with my best friend from childhood. And from Kenya, we went to Boston together, and then we went to medical school together too. So I also took an extra year because I wasn't sure exactly which specialty I was going to do. And so I did international medicine in Kenya, and then in Peru, in Lima, and in the rainforest in the Amazon. And so that's when I landed on a specialty that could be partial clinic and partial specialty procedural. So I can do both, use my hands, be in the operating room, and then also have meaningful relationships with my patients in clinics. And so as I decided to do that, I applied all over the country. And you have to do a first year in medicine or general surgery. So I chose general surgery because I wanted to be an operative provider. And then I went on to stay in NYU because I liked the Northeast. Most of my exposure to America had been in the Northeast. Most of my friends and family were there. I didn't have that much family, but I had a lot of contacts, colleagues, friends of friends. And so I didn't want to venture too west or too south. So I ended up staying in New York City. And that's where I finished all my training.
Wow, that's amazing.
And what do you enjoy the most about what you do?
It's the giving back. And that started later in my career because I had the capacity financially to really donate not only money, but my time. And the giving back to the causes I believe in, and the causes I particularly am passionate about, is preservation of animal habitat. And that's both marine and terrestrial. So replantation of trees, rehabilitation of deforested areas, or areas in which there have been man-made disasters, or concrete jungles, taking those down and replanting them. Working on marine reef rehabilitation, or finding out why some of our fisheries are depleted, and rehabilitating the nurseries of our natural environment, and turtle nesting sites, elephant pastures, things like that. Trying to prevent human-animal conflict areas in farms, particularly in Kenya, where I grew up. So, forming a team around a charity, funding it, finding sources and donors, and really giving back in a meaningful and anonymous way, because, part of our culture is very much anonymous, but doing it in a way that I can see the impact directly, and I can observe and see a change year on year of more turtles in our area, more hatchings, more fish per square mile in a reef, more elephants being born, more of them reaching adulthood, on a satellite screen, seeing more green space, seeing more trees, seeing more native trees, not just planted trees because they have better flowers, or palm trees. So just, I think as part of course, medicine is very, very rewarding in itself, but it's very private because your interaction with patients is very personal, and it's secretive, right? It's regulated by laws and patients' privacy. So you don't get to share that with the world often, but I think the rewards of giving to animal habitat recreation is something that everyone can enjoy and everyone can see the effect of. So they both have their rewards in the best way, but the best part of my life is this part of my life in which I give back to what has given me all my life.
Wow.
And for you kids, leaving the world a little better for you guys.
Wow, amazing. And how did COVID-19 affect what you do?
It made medicine very real. Being a frontline worker and seeing it fronthand from the first day, we had to learn and use all the tools we had to understand a very enigmatic, ambiguous enemy. And it hit us all the same way, right? It wasn't preferentially killing some and not others, right? It made us all sick. It exposed us all. None of us were untouched. And it was an opportunity really for all of us to put politics and everything aside and come together as the world. And in some instances it did. In some instances, I think it was a lost opportunity. But for me, it affected me in the fact that it made everything a very human experience. It really made me want to give back more. It made me want to learn more. It wanted me to be a better doctor. I became even more empathetic to the fact that we lost so many humans here in America. We had a million of us who we lost in a very short span. That's a very large number in an epidemic, a pandemic. And worldwide, the numbers were staggering, and often people became numb to it, and we forgot about how it continues to kill people, right? So for me, it made me kind of focus on what's important in my life and how things are finite, the way in which I talk to patients, my family, my friends, my parents, my child, about the finality of life. And you can protect from many things, but here you go, is a situation that no one could have predicted in our lifetime, and it happened. So I think it took the focus away from earning and money and more quality home life. I really enjoyed being home. When I did telemedicine visits, just like I'm talking to you, I would talk to patients the same way. It made things very real about spending time at home, being with my family. And when I couldn't visit my family across the world, I was starting to yearn more to see them when I couldn't do it. So I no longer take travel for granted. And the liberties we have, I don't take that for granted either. You know, the food that's brought to my house so that I can go out and eat at restaurants and meeting people, and my ability to move around freely, I don't know anymore. I don't take it for granted. So that's how it's really affected me personally.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And finally, what is your advice to kids?
I think for kids, it's play more and play often. You know, enjoy playtime. Really, when your parents say avoid electronics or put your cell phone or iPad down, heed that advice, because it has an ability to affect your mind and brain in a negative fashion that it's very difficult to fathom as a child. It's even difficult to fathom as an adult. You'll see adults, and I'm complacent about this too sometimes, is you just on your phone, and such addiction. You know, we are very much inclined to enjoy and seek new information, and the cell phone constantly gives us new information, whether it's through social media, taking a photograph, taking a selfie of ourselves, being able to post something and enjoy the likes anonymously, or even engaging with people, go to chat centers and apps and gaming. There's so much on this phone that has taken over what used to be 15 different appliances in a household 20, 30 years ago. It's all now consolidated into one device. This is one advice I can give children, is like, look up, you know, look at the world around you. There's so much beauty. There's so much to do. There's so much to learn, enjoy. And it's not all on Google, and it's not all on your cell phone. And there's a lot of time in the world to look at that, do that, enjoy that. But understand that it can be very corrupting. It can focus you in a very narrow part of the world and humanity, when there's other things you really need to learn. Because 3 million years of evolution, we've enjoyed the world, and our body, which is the main tool we have in the world, and our brain is geared to that world. The social media and cell phone is a very small, minuscule aspect of our humanity, and we're not really prepared for that. Our body isn't prepared for that. Our hormone system is not prepared for that. And so we definitely know that it's not good. There's a very good use for smartphones and cell phones and cameras, etc. But there is a big undercurrent of issues and stress that it is going to create in our world, where we aren't learning things that we should about our world. So that's one of the biggest advice I can give. And two other big piece of advice I can give children is learn how to farm. It's good for you to know how to grow your own food, and learn how to cook. And no matter whether you're a young, old, boy, girl, learn how to cook for yourself, because that's the best medicine you can give yourself. What you put in your body and how you nourish yourself is really, really important. And don't rely on others to do that for you. There you go.
Wow. Thank you so much. That's a new piece of advice too.
Thank you so much for your time today. It was absolutely
It's so nice to see you. I really appreciate your time as well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for
Have
everything.
a nice day.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye. Liberia est un pays d'Afrique de l'Ouest. Sa capitale est Monrovia et sa population est de 5 millions d'habitants. On peut trouver le hippopotame pygmée là-bas, mais c'est en voie de disparition, avec seulement 3000 qui restent. Le Liberia est connu pour le surf. C'est le seul État noir d'Afrique qui n'était pas commis à la domination coloniale. Ella Sirleaf est une femme de Liberia et la première femme d'Afrique qui était élue pour le chef d'État. Elle a remporté le prix Nobel à la paix en 2011. Hi everybody, this week for the extra fun segment, I'm going to be telling you fun facts about 4-leaf clovers. I really hope you enjoy. Did you know that if you give someone a 4-leaf clover, your luck doubles? There are no clover plants that actually naturally produce 4 leaves. That's why they're considered really lucky and rare. The leaves of 4-leaf clovers stand for luck. It's often said that Ireland has the most 4-leaf clovers, giving meaning to the phrase, the luck of the Irish. For every 4-leaf clover, there are approximately 20,000 3-leaf clovers. Children in the Middle Ages believed that if they carried a 4-leaf clover, they would be able to see fairies. 4-leaf clovers were also believed to be Celtic charms and to wear off bad luck. I really hope you enjoy these facts. This week for the Chinese segment, you're going to be learning about the Chinese zodiacs, which are an important part of the Chinese culture. These zodiacs are animals, and there's an animal for each year, and they keep on going round and round. These animals are in total 12. So, I'm going to be telling you the Chinese zodiacs in order, and you can check which one you are depending on your birth year. I really hope you enjoy. The first one is a mouse or a rat. Shu. The second one is an ox, which I am because I was born in 2009. Niu. The third one is a tiger. Hu. The fourth one is a rabbit. Tu. The fifth one is a dragon. Long. The sixth one is a snake. She. The seventh one is a horse. The eighth one is a goat. Yang. The ninth one is a monkey. Ho. The 10th one is a rooster. Ji. The 11th one is a dog. Go. And the 12th one is a pig. Ju. All of these animals represent something, and you can check what they represent too. I really hope you enjoyed. 再见!